Good morning, everybody. You're all very welcome to our inaugural trader call. We're having a conversation here today with Ben, who's from Belgium, and of course, we're going to be going through the markets, chatting about the markets, chatting about Ben and his history and how he got involved with trading. So, I suppose without further ado, Ben, would you like to maybe tell people a bit about yourself, tell people a bit about your past and your journey?
Yeah, of course. Hello, good morning. So I'm Ben, 20, no, 24, 42 years old. I wish it would be 24, but it's 42. Yeah, I'm CEO of a company for about 15 years now. I have 5 people working for me in a leather business. So we do produce our own products, and yeah, that's working very well. And since 3 years now, I started trading because, yeah, I was searching for a new challenge in my life. For me, my business was too normal. Things are going good, but yeah, I wasn't challenged enough. So I was searching for some new challenge, and that's what I found in trading about 3 years ago. Yeah, that's as all first starting traders. I lost a lot of money in the first 2 years, and now the third year, this year, finally I am starting to get profitable, and I'm happy that I succeeded the challenge of Alpha Capital. And that I'm now considered as a profitable trader. I got my second payout today, so yeah, I'm very happy with that.
Good news, good news, good news. And I suppose as well.
Um, yeah, about yeah. Well,
Go on ahead, Ben. Go on
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, go on ahead, sir. Go on ahead. Yeah. Talk to us about your
Yeah,
experience
yeah,
and your journey.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, no problem. So about my strategy, which I'm using, yeah, it was a lot of searching in the beginning, testing, and yeah, which strategy are I supposed to use? As a beginner trader, you don't know, and you try and you fail and you try again and you fail again, and that's how it works, and you lose a lot of money, and then yeah, you go a step back, and yeah, which mistakes did I do? And but now finally the strategy that I'm using now is so I'm a big believer in Elliott waves. I did do some courses of Elliott wave. Um, I think it's a good analysis, but it's not. It's just about 35% of my analysis that I use with Elliott wave. I'm also using parallel channels. That's the 35 other percent that I'm using. So I have a lot of rules to be considered as a valid parallel channel. It's not so easy because yeah. I found it out by myself. For this, I didn't do any lesson. It's just the Elliott wave. This I did some lesson, and then yeah, what is also very important is to get all pairs synchronized. So I think that's one of the yeah biggest things that I just discovered a few months ago. And that is also the reason why many traders have 10 screens, because yeah, things like if you are trading the Nasdaq, you want to see that also Apple and Tesla on the moment that you want to go short are also on crucial levels, and that makes when everything is synchronized, you have a greater chance to
Yeah.
succeed.
I suppose a correlation of assets is really, really important.
Correlation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely. Yeah, of course, because of course, if you don't want to be buying the dollar when the stock markets are rising, because of course the correlation is obviously the opposite way around. So of course that's going to lead to unnecessary losses. So your
Yes.
channels that you're using, I suppose just to get more information about it, because I haven't actually used them before myself. How are they made up? Do you use trend structure in terms of looking at higher highs and higher lows, or is there something more intricate with the way those channels are created and developed?
Well, my strategy is to find points, so to draw a channel where you have at least 4 touching points, and
Okay.
the fifth one should exceed. So uh, these are my own rules,
Okay.
and that's for me a valid, considered as a valid
Oh, okay. So
parallel
it
channel. Of course, sometimes you have six points, or even more, 7 touching points, and then the eighth one six
okay.
did pass through, and that's even more valid. So
Definitely.
yeah, that's
Definitely.
yeah.
So it's quite an intricate type of strategy, because I haven't actually heard of that, or haven't really come across it too much myself as a
Yeah,
trader.
it's
But
something that I created by myself.
yeah, it's quite it's I
It's
this is what I love
experience.
about speaking to traders, because they've all got their own different ways of looking at the markets. They've all different tools in their toolkit that they use, and I think that's really really
Yes.
good, because when obviously people are watching these videos, they can look at it from a different perspective, take things into consideration that maybe other people are using that maybe they find successful. So it's a really, really good barometer.
Yeah.
So obviously I find that really, really interesting. So how long have you, the Elliott wave structure, you've,
Maybe I can.
sorry, Ben, sorry
Maybe
for
I
interrupting
can
you there.
I can add something about the parallel channel,
Yeah,
because I was telling you that at least 4 touching points.
yeah,
But when you draw a parallel channel in TradingView or in other analysis, you have also in the middle a line, a dotted line, and
okay,
if that one also is giving 4 or 5 touching points, it's even more valid. So,
okay,
and that's the art, I think, to find a very good parallel channel. And in
okay,
my opinion, it can be even enough to be a profitable trader. I don't use volume. I don't use moving averages. It's just I solely use those three. So Elliott wave analysis, a
mm.
parallel channel, and yeah, to get everything
To get your confidences. Yeah,
organized. Yeah, I
interesting.
told
Very
you.
good, very good. And I
Yes.
suppose then, would you incorporate because I know obviously the way the markets are at the minute, everyone's talking about recession and all of that. Would you look at fundamental analysis, or are you just strictly technical perspective alone?
Sorry, I didn't understand your
Yeah,
question
no,
very well
sorry,
because we
sorry. Yeah, no. All I was saying there was, would you incorporate fundamental analysis? So looking at
ah,
the fundamentals into, or are you just strictly looking at charts, charting perspective, and charting alone?
well, when I first begin to trade, I was influenced by 110 other things, YouTubers, other technical analysts, and I was listening a bit to everyone. But now I solely use my own technical analysis, no
Okay,
fundamental analysis. I
okay,
do believe it's all about technicals, 100%. I try to ignore all the news, even because I
yeah,
think that's not a good thing. As you, if you are a really technical analyst, you it's better not to. Yeah, it's. I think the best way is to ignore as many news as possible. Of course, you get news, but yeah, it's not
yeah.
a good thing. In my opinion, to listen too much to news, because
Interesting.
news will follow the charts. That's
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah, and I know I've spoken to plenty of guys beforehand who say the news is a catalyst for the pattern in the chart to actually create itself, and I think that's obviously quite an interesting
Yeah, and
comment as
it's
well. I'm
really
sure.
amazing. It's really amazing. For example, with the last earnings of Apple, there was a descending triangle, and at the moment where the news was released, yeah, that was
Yeah,
the apex. So how is it even possible that
yeah,
it was forming for 1 week or something?
yeah.
So I could already tell that the stock would go up a lot, and that's
What
what's
happened?
happening.
Yeah,
And then they told, yeah, it's because of I don't know what, but in my opinion, it's worthless, this
yeah.
news.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely interesting, interesting. I suppose I know obviously at the beginning you told me about it took you a while to become profitable. And so I
yeah.
presume with every strategy that any trader would utilize, they do a bit of back testing. So how long did it actually take you to kind of go from a period of developing consistency to actually becoming consistent. Did it take you long to, I suppose, turn that corner, so to speak?
Yes, I did lose some accounts, but I never traded demo accounts. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I'm not a big fan of trading demo accounts. Okay, you don't have to trade with big accounts like I did in the
Yeah,
beginning, because that's really a stupid thing.
yeah,
But I think the best way to start trading is to start with small amounts, but
mm.
in real markets, not in demo accounts. And yeah, that's what I did the first 2 years.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, brilliant. I suppose as well, you learn from your mistakes, or hopefully the goal is in trading, you learn from your
Yes.
mistakes. You know, if you're making any mistakes, you're kind of learning from them. Otherwise, you're bound to fail because you're doing the same things over and over again with the same consequences. You know, which is obviously hugely important as well.
Yeah.
I suppose as well, when you're trading, do you take multiple positions? Do you scale in when you're executing trades and you're on your strategy? Do you say, okay, my account is 100,000, I'm risking 1% and I'm going to take one trade? Or do you try and maybe reduce your risk across the board and maybe take multiple positions? How do you approach let's say, for example, you've got a trading setup. How would you normally approach it in from a trading perspective or from an execution perspective?
Well, I take quite a lot of risk, not the usual 1% that they say,
Okay.
but so I go quite high in my account size when I think there is a good setup. Yeah, I think I risk about 10% of my account. Maybe that's a little bit too much, but I also learned to trade much less than before. Before, when I was starting trading, I did 30 trades a day,
Yeah.
way too much.
Yeah.
And now I really try to limit it, this into 2 or 3 trades each week,
Okay.
but with bigger gains, and that I leave overnight. Um, so that's a different approach. Yeah, and of course, yeah, it takes some time to know when it's better not to trade. Also,
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, in the
obviously then,
beginning you do see opportunities, or you think you see opportunities in everything, but
yeah.
it's about experience, and then yeah, the best way is to limit it, I think, your trades, and to
Yeah.
go, in my opinion, quite take some risk, but
Yeah.
you have to see a very clear exit and entry, and sometimes even I struggle with that. I do see the entry, but if I don't see the exit, it's better not to have to take the
Yeah.
trade.
Yeah. I
And like yesterday, I did a trade and I lost money because yeah, I was sure about that I see the things in a good way, but my exit wasn't clear.
yeah.
So it did go the way I wanted, but it did first go the wrong way. So I lost money. And yeah, it's all about controlling emotions, but also being, yeah, strict with
Yeah.
yourself, and yeah, applying your own rules. And if you don't do that, you'll lose money. It goes so fast in both ways. And yeah, you can also win a lot of money
Yeah. I so I
in
suppose
a few
I suppose if I could say one thing, then it really becomes down to a case of focusing on quality of trades and not just the quantity.
yes,
And being patient.
yes, but for this you have to be experienced.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I
Yes,
suppose even
because
with yeah, like even with alpha, I suppose one of the big things is a lot of the traders that they're not patient. Or the other
yes,
thing is they're not patient and they're over leveraged. So when obviously you're over leveraged
yes,
with a lower degree of patience and discipline, obviously the
yes.
accumulation of more losses is inevitable because of that scenario. So that's actually quite interesting. So I know you said there to 10%. I presume you're not trading at 10% risk per position, are you?
Yes.
Or do you have a line in your sand to say, well, if this is going to break, let's say, for example, a 5% daily cutoff, you obviously have provisions set in place to mitigate the potential of blowing up. I presume you've that in your locker as well, in your toolkit.
Yes, yes, yes. I also have some rules that for example, if I have three consistent losers, I stop for the day,
Okay.
which is really difficult because
Yeah.
it's not in nature. You want to revenge trade, but
Mm.
yeah, that's really. I lost so much accounts in just one day because of that. It
Yeah.
was yeah.
And I suppose that's the big
It's
thing, obviously, learning the lessons going from an individual or trader who's failed, let's say on day one or even day two or day three, to slowly but surely putting a structure together, putting a plan together, and then being able to pass, get funded eventually. And I suppose that's really the most important thing here is putting a provision in place, putting a plan in place, and learning from previous mistakes to then go on to obviously get funded and get profitable. Then So Ben, the next thing I'm going to actually talk you through or ask you is about how
yes.
often do you how o- Hi Ben, can you hear me? Sorry, I think Zoom got disconnected there, so I'm just obviously rejoining the
Yes,
call.
I can hear you. I don't know why. Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so
Okay.
bear
I
with me.
think they always came a message low quality, low connection at your side, apparently.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. I'm going to keep an eye on the internet anyway. So obviously this video will be edited anyway, so we'll put it all together. So I suppose one of the big questions that I would have as well for you, as a trader, do you constantly review your metrics? Do you constantly review the dashboard to review your own performance? How do you self-analyze your performance or self-review your performance to say, well, this is what I'm doing wrong, and obviously putting a course of to recalibrate or recorrect. Would you review your performance occasionally? Would you review it often?
Yeah, I do review it, but yeah, in the beginning I was doing a trading journal, but now I don't do it anymore because I know what are my mistakes and when I need to stop, which are I think you have to know when you take a trade, but also when you need to stop trading, and I think that's really a big thing. Because if you are not able to minimize your losses, yeah, you never will be a profitable trader.
Yeah, certainly. So Ben, do you want to maybe take us through a sample chart of what you would look at, and how you would analyze and interpret the movements in the markets?
Yes. For example, yesterday I trade, did a very beautiful trade on the Nasdaq. Here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sixth has passed. So this parallel channel is valid, and that means that it will get back tested here. So I took here a short position, and my target was on this. My first target was on this on the lower back of the parallel channel. So I think I was about 5 cents. In loss, so it is a risk to reward of yeah, a huge risk to reward that I had. I don't know how much, but so I took it about here at 286, 80, 90, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So it did go 7 cents higher, but I had a profit of yeah of $3 with risking 15 cents or something like that. So
Yeah, very good risk reward there. So I suppose obviously I know you obviously did this with a different company. And I suppose what other people would ask is what assets then do you normally trade? So do you trade the dollar? Do you trade indices? I suppose that
no,
would be
yeah.
that would be another question. So what asset classes do you primarily trade?
I don't trade forex. I only trade indices and crypto, but mainly indices. I try to follow Nasdaq, S&P 500, Apple, Tesla, and Bitcoin, because also there is a huge correlation between Bitcoin and the Nasdaq, and also indices. So that's why I try to follow every day those five
Assets.
assets, and
Yeah.
sometimes also the dollar, but it's more to have an idea about
Okay.
where the indices are going, not to trade the dollar.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. That's really interesting. So I suppose really the final question then is, how would you classify or how would you define what a good trader is or uses? So do you think it's a mix of everything? Do you think it's more risk orientated? Do you think it's technically driven? What's your opinion on that?
Well, I think with technical analysis, you get a lot of pieces of the puzzle. And I think a good trader is being able to put them all together into one, yeah, beautiful puzzle. And of course, that's really not easy, because there are so much puzzle pieces. And every time when I make a mistake, I try to see afterwards, yeah, which puzzle did I miss, where it has been wrong, and mostly I find the explanation in my technical analysis, which I didn't read properly. And also I think, yeah, as I gave you the example of my trade of yesterday, yeah, the risk to reward has to be really huge. I think a good trader is risking 10 cents to get $3 to get $2. It's amazing if you are able to do that on a consistency base. Yeah, then that's a really good thing. And having patience, and knowing when not to trade. Sometimes I don't trade for 2-3 days. For example, I'm also a bear. I only trade declines because they go faster
And deeper often as well.
and even so.
Yeah.
If I know the market will go up, I wait some days, and yeah, I don't trade when I don't see anything. And
Okay.
I think that's also, yeah, that's also being part of a good trader,
Mm.
because yeah, you want to take every day 10 good trades,
Yeah.
but you have to accept that there will be only one, maybe in some days. And then that's also why I risk more than 1%. I only see a few opportunities each week, and I try to risk much more, and yeah, to gain also a little bit more than
Okay.
yeah,
Brilliant.
I think that's my definition of a good being a good trader.
Brilliant.
And
Brilliant.
I hope in 6 months I will still be a good trader, because I have to
Look,
say it's
I'm
my second payout from you. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it
Well, look,
can I
look,
tomorrow I can lose again my account. It's still possible, but yeah, it's
yeah. Well, well, look, from my perspective, I would be a little bit opposite to you, contrarian in terms of I would be always like risk verse and kind of minimizing the drawdown, where you're obviously a little bit more aggressive. But it's, as I said earlier, every trader is obviously different. Every individual is different. Every individual, how they perceive the markets or how they perceive a specific chart is obviously
yeah.
quite different. But no, it's absolutely brilliant to hear of your experiences. Obviously, even better to hear you've obviously got past funded and have been paid out twice. So obviously, best of luck for the end of the year, into
Thank you
Christmas.
so much.
And of course, obviously for 2023 again, and obviously thank you for taking the time to obviously speak to us today. It means a lot to us. Getting obviously hearing trader stories, how they perceive the markets, how they look at the markets as well is obviously an important thing, because you're getting different perspectives. You're hearing people's stories, and I think that's obviously a big thing as well, you know. But
Yeah, thank you
thanks a
so
million,
much for
Ben.
giving me the opportunity, and yeah, also to keep your word and to do the payouts so quickly. So I'm happy for that as well.